The grand chamber of the Galactic Council stretched beyond comprehension, its crystalline walls reflecting the bioluminescent forms of 1,000 different species. Ambassador Chen Wei stood at the center of the circular hall, her small human frame dwarfed by the towering representatives of civilizations that had ruled the stars for millennia. High Counselor Zexathera, a being of pure energy contained within a shimmering metallic exoskeleton, spoke with a voice that resonated through multiple dimensions. The newest species to achieve faster-than-light travel will now receive the terms of galactic citizenship. Chen maintained her composure as holographic displays materialized around her, showing vast fleets of warships, planet-consuming mining operations, and the corpses of worlds stripped bare. The images were not threats. They were demonstrations of power, reminders of what happened to species that failed to comply. Humanity has been observed for 17 of your planetary rotations, continued Zexathera. Your species shows potential. However, potential without proper guidance leads to chaos. The Council has seen this pattern repeat across 10,000 civilizations. A ripple of agreement passed through the assembled beings. The Vorthak delegation, massive insectoid creatures with chitinous armor that could deflect plasma fire, clicked their mandibles in approval. The ethereal collective, beings of living gas who existed in environmental suits, pulsed with satisfied colors. The tribute system ensures galactic stability, announced Counselor Eerie Moth, whose crystalline body housed what appeared to be a miniature galaxy. Each species contributes according to their capabilities. The strong protect the weak. Order is maintained. Chen listened as the terms were read. 60% of humanity's industrial output, 40% of their scientific research, mandatory conscription of their most gifted individuals into council service, the establishment of monitoring stations in every major population center. These terms are non-negotiable, Zexathera declared. Every spacefaring species has accepted them. The alternative is unfortunate. The holographic displays shifted, showing the remnants of civilizations that had refused. Barren worlds, asteroid fields where planets once existed. The Council's patience, it seemed, had limits. You have one solar rotation to provide your response, Eeriemoth stated. We suggest you choose wisely. The chamber fell silent except for the ambient hum of 1,000 different life support systems. Every eye, sensor, and consciousness focused on the small human woman standing alone in the center of their cosmic arena. Chen had been chosen for this moment not just because of her diplomatic skills, but because she understood humanity's nature better than most. She had grown up in the ruins of old Shanghai, had seen her species claw its way back from near extinction, had watched them reach for the stars with bloodied hands and unbroken spirits. She thought of the children playing in the rebuilt streets, of Earth, of the colonists on Mars who had transformed a dead world into a garden, of the explorers who had just yesterday taken humanity's first steps into the Andromeda Galaxy, of the billions of humans who had looked up at the night sky and refused to accept that they were meant to stay on one small world. Your response? Human? Zexathera's voice carried a note of impatience. Chen straightened her shoulders. In her mind, she could hear the voices of every human who had ever refused to kneel, who had faced impossible odds with nothing but determination and spite, who had stared into the abyss and decided to punch it in whatever it used for a face. She thought of her grandmother, who had survived the water wars by eating tree bark and shooting raiders with a rifle older than some council civilizations. She thought of Captain Sarah Chen, no relation despite the name, who had crashed her. ship into a Vorthak dreadnought during the First Contact War and somehow walked away. She thought of Dr. James Martinez, who had solved faster-than-light travel by refusing to accept that it was impossible. The word that came from her lips carried the weight of 10,000 years of human history. It echoed with the voices of warriors who had charged into machine gun fire, of scientists who had split the atom, of ordinary people who had done extraordinary things simply because someone told them they couldn't. No. The single syllable hung in the air like a declaration of war. The chamber erupted. Vorthak mandibles clicked in fury. Ethereal collective members shifted to aggressive crimson. Ancient beings who had witnessed the rise and fall of galactic empires recoiled in shock. Impossible! Zexathara's energy form flickered with what might have been disbelief. You do not understand. We are offering you a place in galactic civilization. We are offering you survival. Chen smiled, and there was something in that expression that made several council members take involuntary steps backward. It was the smile of a species that had conquered its own planet, not through strength or intelligence, but through sheer bloody-minded refusal to give up. "Counselor," she said, her voice carrying clearly through the chaos, "you seem to be under the impression that humanity wants your version of survival." She turned slowly, meeting the gaze of every being in the chamber. "We've been to the edge of extinction before. We've faced impossible odds. We've been told we can't survive, can't adapt, can't win. And every single time, we've had the same response." The chamber fell silent again, but this time the silence was different. It was the silence of predators suddenly realizing they might be looking at something more dangerous than themselves. "No means no," Chen continued. "We didn't claw our way up from the primordial soup, survive ice ages and plagues and wars and the death of our own sun, just to hand over our freedom to the first group of bullies we met in space." She paused, her next words carrying the weight of humanity's entire future. "If you want what's ours, you're welcome to come and take it. But I should warn you, we've been practicing." The response was immediate. Half the council began demanding her immediate execution. The other half began calculating the resources required to subjugate a species that had just declared war on the entire galaxy. Chen stood unmoved in the center of it all, broadcasting humanity's answer to the stars. No.